why your granddad was in better shape than you without ever going to the gym. In this video, we're going to go over why people way back in the 1960s were in way better shape than most men now. And it's hard to believe with everything we have, but think about it. Back in the 1960s, about 13% of grown men were obese in the US. Now it's approaching 40%. That is almost half. That statistic has tripled. Actually, now that I think about it, I was going to say it, my math is so bad. Like, that is hard to actually comprehend. Like, so if you think about that, 1 in 10 men were overweight in the US. Now it's 4 out of 10. So we're almost that 50%. It's mental. And what we'll do is we'll break down the habits, the routines, the rituals, the techniques, everything you need that you can implement from them back in the old school days to get results now without even realizing it. It's actually hard to believe that you can have all this technology, ChatGPT, everything, and yet people are still struggling to get results. It's almost like not a lack of information, it's like a lack of systems. The reason this whole video came about is actually pure wholesome. So me and my dad were talking about my granddad who has passed away, and he was showing me a photo of him and his dad in like 1970. It's hard to believe that's like 50 years ago. They're both like lean, good shape for their age. They look happy, they're healthy. Meanwhile, it's funny because although it's never been easier to get everything done now, most people are still not in the shape they would like to be, or even in healthy shape. A lot of people are overweight, and that's just not good, you know, for your overall body function, confidence, anything. So we have, like, when you break it down, the gym memberships, they didn't even really have that. Supplements, fitness apps, and somehow like we end up looking like a microwave marshmallow. We just look soft, a lot of us. So I think it's just an interesting thought process, because that's what I done. I sat down and was like, if I was to live like it was 1970, what would the difference be? And the funny thing is, I probably wouldn't get a gym in my hometown. I wouldn't be in the studio. Without protein power, gym, 10k steps, how do you get results? And let's break this down. It's actually all about simplicity. Like, think about it. If you were to live like it was 1970, 1960, what would the difference in your life be? So if I imagine my life compared to my grandfather's, the first section I want to go through is that life made them fit. Like, the older generation, your granddad, mine, they couldn't just get in a car and drive. Most people couldn't actually even afford a car. They weren't trying to be in shape. They had no real choice. They were just forced to be. You had to walk to the shops, get your groceries, carry them back. You had to walk to work, walk back. If you wanted to go to the pub, talk to your friends, you couldn't WhatsApp them or order the drink to the house. You had to actually go out and meet people. So we had no online shopping, no Uber Eats, no central heating. It's a mad time to think about it. Like, you probably, maybe I'm thinking way too far back, but maybe they didn't have, did they have hot showers then? Maybe I'm thinking I'm too far back. I didn't go far enough in my research. Everything was effort. Like, changing the channel probably meant standing up and actually turning the dial. Like, imagine that. Like, imagine every time you want to change an Netflix show and we just scroll. Groceries, walk to the shop, lawnmower, you would have had to push it. Houses were cold. You actually had to do the fire. That would have took tree chopping or bang, cold, carrying it back. Like, my dad told me his father would walk to school pretty much barefoot, like with the way his shoes would have been some days. And this would have been like half a mile each way. So like, naturally, that's just healthier than getting up, having a bowl of sugar, and then getting dropped off at school. Today, it's so different when you think about it. Like, I think most kids get driven like 200 meters when it's spitting rain, whereas you had no choice. You just picked up an umbrella. Now you'd very rarely see somebody use an umbrella in like a town like Ireland because they can get drive everywhere. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of them things you wouldn't always carry. The key takeaway is convenience actually makes us weak. Like, think about it. I'm not saying get up and change your channel, but simple things like park your car further away from your house. Think about how you can actually utilize these tips in your day to day, and that high step counts are actually normal, and your body is more born to, what's the best way to put this? Your body is more used to a higher step count. Like, it's shown that if you're under 8k steps, which people find hard to get, and I understand that, I'm the same, but you're more likely to die younger. The more you walk, the longer you live. There's like science to back this. Most people just don't walk enough. Like, you just need to walk more, you'll live longer, be healthier, and be leaner. It's a no-brainer. And same with all your manual tasks. The next up, section 2. Food wasn't trying to kill them. It sounds insane, but like, healthy food was probably cheaper than fast food. You ate what you could afford. Fast food would have definitely been a luxury for my grandfather if it was even about. It wasn't a thing. You ate the same thing pretty much every day. Like, you couldn't afford to eat anything else. I didn't come from a wealthy background. That's not the way my family was raised. Like, every recipe would have been meat, potatoes, veg, and gravy. So stereotypical, like Irish. But like, that would have even been my dinner for a long time when I was younger. And then it would have been a case of leftovers and repeat. There was no meal deals, no Domino's, no Starbucks Frappuccinos. You couldn't Uber Eats a McSpicy to your door. It just wasn't one of them things. You couldn't order food at midnight. You would have to get up and actually cook, and that creates a barrier. I read statistics on this, like in like 1980, so it's not the 60s, like people ate an average like 2,200 calories in like the UK and the States. Now it's like 2,500 plus, and it's mainly from ultra processed stuff, chocolate, fast food. So if you think about it, back then like 20% of foods were processed, And now it's probably more like 80 to 90%. Like maybe not as much as that, but it's probably more like the 60. I would need to look at it. But think about it. Everything is going for a process to make it longer shelf life. Everything would have went off quicker. So your granddad, like your grandparents, they didn't eat clean. They ate what existed, which is very, very interesting. Like if you tried to eat like 1985, like you probably couldn't get too many cereal brands, chocolate bars. You would have had to eat food while it's fresh. You couldn't have got bread that lasted like a week or two, I'm assuming. Things went out of date much quicker because there was less preservatives. I'm not saying, Joe, you're getting killed by chemicals. I'm just saying, think about it. Like the easiest way to incorporate this is doing what they done. You would have had 3 to 4 meals a day. You wouldn't have got snacks because you couldn't afford them. There was no treat drawer. It wasn't, I'll grab something quick on the go from this takeaway place. And in reality, whenever you incorporate this rule of just eating more organic, more healthy, and cooking more, or even just thinking less processed, you'll lose fat and just look better and feel better. The modern food environment with like grab and goes is pretty much engineered to be higher calorie and fatten you. And people will argue about pricing now. But if you do it right, you can be smart and you can balance both. It wasn't a choice back then, which is the reason they actually were able to manage this. Like when you think about it, they didn't have a choice. We do. And the problem is we're picking wrong a lot of the time. And I'm guilty of it too. One of the things people will say is if you can't pronounce a chemical, you shouldn't eat it. But I don't fully believe that. Like there's so many chemicals in every food, from a banana and so on. I just think, is this food healthy? And usually it'll be full of micronutrients. And 9 times out of 10, it'll be lower in calories and just better for you all around. The next section, they did not scroll 24/7. This is insane. Like, and I think whenever I bring this up, and I bring it up time and time again, but nobody listens. I do not have Instagram on my phone. I only have it on the laptop. Whenever I record an Instagram story or anything like this, I record it, airdrop it to my MacBook and upload, and you probably think this is absolutely insane. It's because you just waste so much time. I have so much spare time because I'm not scrolling. Like in the 80s, you would have got 2 hours of TV maximum, and that would have been a lot. Like I remember my mum saying she used to put sweet wrappers on the TV to give it color because it was boring. Now we're on screens 8 to 10 hours a day. You can say it's for talking to your friends, you can say it's for work, you can say whatever you want. You waste time in it just like me. Limiting this will massively help. Like for if you think about it, what did your grandparents, or what did they do back in the 1960s, 80s? They would have walked places, met friends, did hobbies like play golf, play a five-a-side. They would have went outside for walks. And as I said earlier, if you walk to the pub, you had to walk back, so you're burning calories. It was just healthier. No Uber, no kebabs after the night out. Like you wouldn't finish work and then arrive home, lie on the sofa, put the hands up, scroll Netflix, YouTube, actually blow your eyeballs out of their sockets with just dopamine hits as well. So I feel like that's probably one of the reasons their discipline was probably better, because we're getting fried from a dopamine perspective when you're scrolling. It's like gambling. When you think about it, like now what you do max exercise is like the gym 1 hour a day, 3 days a week. It's like 1.5% of your week. If you go 5 days, you're probably 2.5% active. So as much as you're like, I do a lot, I gym 5 days a week. In reality, in comparison, it's not a whole lot. Like, it's not that we don't have the time, we just give it away. Screens just take it away. So there's a famous quote from Jimmy Carr I love, and it's more about possessions with price, but I think it applies here. We buy possessions to own them, and they end up owning us, which is, it's like not me trying to be wisdom, like, but it just hit home with me a lot. So I think a general rule is just no screens after 8 p.m. is a great idea. Like 3 hours out from bed, or the first 2, I think the first and the last 2 hours of the day is very realistic for most. Go to bed earlier, get up earlier, like, you'll fall asleep faster, you'll get deeper sleep, you'll feel calmer. Like when I don't scroll, because I haven't had it for months now, my anxiety, my stress is way lower, and I honestly cannot believe I haven't done this sooner, and I'll never go back to having it on my phone. It's just not good for your headspace. It's just, I actually just wish, if there's one thing I think would change most people's life, that would be it. Although I do feel they were more disciplined, I just feel like they didn't have a dopamine machine hijacking their brain 24/7. The system is set up to beat you down without you realizing it. Like it's billions of pounds of industry. You're not going to beat it by control. You're going to beat it by removing it, and that's going to help remove your bad habits. Do you ever see the biggest regrets of people who are down? It's like, I wish I didn't work so much, I wish I spent more time with family. Our generations will be, I wish I spent less time on my phone. 100%. Like if you spend 8 hours a day, you do the math, how much is that per week? Like it's 2 days a week. It's insane. It's madness. And I wish I knew it sooner. I'm not preaching. Like, I understand it. Like, I still spend time watching stuff that I shouldn't. But I think it's something we really need to get control on, and people just fly over because they know it triggers people. And if it triggers you, you're the person just like me you should identify. I used to say, I'm not on my phone that much. And that's a clear telltale sign you are. So let's move on. Next up, look, work was usually physical. Like my granddad's job burned calories. Like he would have walked to work, picked things up and down, went up to the storeroom, came back down. Now, you don't even have to leave your house to go to the office. You can remote work, which is great. But like, you used to walk to meetings, walk for lunch with your friends, walk to the bank. to get statements or whatever it was. Like, I thought about it. You walk home, you walk to pubs, like Sturge everywhere, no elevators, escalators. Now you can Zoom or Google Meet your friend or just ring them every time. Like, you had to ring from your house phone. So if you want to talk to your best friend, your girlfriend, you actually had to go knock their door. Like, insane. When you think about it, like, it's just one of them things. Like, there's a reason they call it like farmer strength. Like, and that's why it's so different now. Whereas everybody would have had that back in the day. Whereas now you just know when a farmer comes on for board with us or somebody who does a manual job, they've always got good work ethic. Like, they always do. It's the same as somebody in the military and the fire service. It's insane. Like, we've turned work into like a sitting contest. It's like who can sit the most and do the least, and it's like a bride. So look, if you copy the old school approach, you walk while on your calls even. You buy one of them under-desk treadmills. They're like £200 on Amazon. You walk to get your lunch. Maybe do like a wee small walk after every meal. You know, take the stairs over the lifts. Delete your social media, which probably sounds a wee bit annoying, but you know it's probably the right thing to do. Apart from myself. But I think it's a good way to do it. And you notice your steps go quite high. Like, naturally now, I hit like at least 10 to 12K just doing it. I get up in the morning, I take a 15-minute walk, grab a coffee, and most people are like, oh, I don't have time for that. I just go to bed like half an hour earlier. Like, I go to bed at like 10 and I get up at like 6 and I have time for it. It's really, really simple. It's just discipline to turn off screen times. Yeah, and I noticed I stopped comparing myself as well. Like, my headspace, everything far, far better. Right, we'll move on to the next one. Community was more about health, and you actually see this come back now, which I'm buzzing with. You can see people doing run clubs, but in reality, your grandparents in the 1960s, they would have had pub nights to walk to, football on Sundays, community events, walks. We still do some of this, but you would have walked to visit your cousins, your neighbors, walking everywhere. Like, now it's texts and group chats, watching other people live online, pretending we're all connected and everybody's just comparing highlight reels to each other because we're hiding behind screens. So not socially isolating yourself is the word. Like, if you're going to meet a friend, I think this section would be is meet them in person. Even if you park further away, you go for a walk with them. Even if you're going to do something, maybe go train with them. Like, that's how you actually see them once a week. Go for a run with them. Go for a coffee and a walk instead of a coffee and a sit. Doing cold dips like I do, where we go halfway up a mountain, take a cold dip, walk down. It's not a mountain, but it's like a hill, right? So it's probably like 3,000 steps each way, but it adds up and it makes a big difference, and I feel far better for it. I'm awful at running, so it's not really for me. But I do my best to make sure that anytime I meet a friend, we don't just always sit. We're doing stuff that lights us up and makes it better, because it's easy to meet for a coffee, it's easy to Zoom, it's easy to ring. It's harder to make time, but that's where real connections, but you don't build the same connection online either, and I think that's key. So make your fitness social is probably the best way to put that, because you would notice that that's how they used to live. You don't have to separate the two, and I think a lot of people do, but that can kill your overall mental and physical health. There are just some things that I think add up, and it's like that thought process of simplicity scales and complexity breaks, and now we're in a stage of where complexity with everything we're doing is actually making it like the information age without implementation and simplicity, and there's like this overdrive of information that's just like invalid and not what you need. Most people just need to make things simpler and stay consistent and actually give yourself like rules, like do some of these, and if you implement them, you'll actually notice a massive difference to why people were in better shape. Like, they moved, they ate real food, they slept properly, they connected with people in person, they worked harder, ate like physical jobs, they were present with people around them, they didn't scroll, they made such a difference. Like, we live in a world and it's designed for like comfort, convenience, distraction, and just like sitting about. Like, it makes you soft, not just mentally, but also physically. Like, my job in the fire service versus an online coach. Like, think of the difference in output there. The difference in like mental tenacity it builds. Like, one job is better for you on all the health levels than the other. Although I control my own time and all that, you get my thought process. So I think adding a bit of friction in can work. Like, eating like it's back in the old days, turn off your screen time, build movement into your work, walk to work, school, whatever you're doing, and try and make your like social life a bit more like, even if it's just walks. That's what we do every Sunday as a family. We just go for a family walk around like a local park. It's in like a place called Rostrevor. Beautiful mountains, really worth a look if you're ever in Northern Ireland. It's maybe 5K steps in total, but you do that for years and it adds up and it makes a massive difference. If you think they've done anything that hindered them, feel free to drop it in the comments. And if you want a hand with anything at all, don't be afraid to DM me. I do have one thing that I think would help you if you do enjoy the convenience stuff. If you DM me the word Snack Bible, I'll send you a free 20 recipe snack Bible that is really convenient, is really tasty, and actually has good foods in it, like good healthy foods that take like 5 minutes to make, and this stuff is insane. I'll send you for free. Look, that's it. Snack Bible on any social media platform, I'll send it over. Big love. Like, share, I near said like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Big love. Thank you.